All right, so this is the Lefty. We're standing in my garage right now, where some of my projects are still kind of forming up here. So, as you can see, we've got our desktop set up with our network, with our streaming device, which is the HD60 here. It works really good for PS3 and PS4 and stuff. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it to take an analog signal all the way over to this cabinet I built. So this arcade cabinet has 645 games. It's running a Pandora's Box 4 JAMA box. It's very similar to the arcade boxes you would see in the old arcade style cabinets and from Japan and from the US back in the 90s. But what it does is it emulates basically all the games, and they're all kind of injected in. And this is set up for 2 players, as you can see. I've got painting I'm still doing on the right side, and then I'm going to finalize it with digital paint, which is going to look cool. It's going to look like digital camouflage. Obviously the colored buttons up here are your coin, and then these are your start buttons here and here for left and right player. And then you got your 6 buttons here, so you can play all your fighting games and stuff, and all your old shooters. So if you look, it uses a pretty cool graphical interface. It's actually, let me see if I can stand back a little further. It actually, you can go through the list up and down, or you can go right or left and take it by pages of 10. So you can see some of the games we've got. I mean, we've got all the SNK fighters, Samurai Showdown, I think every single one. We got some really cool off-the-wall fighting games. Like this one is like, it looks like a dog dressed up like Santa Claus right there. I don't know what that's all about. But it's a really weird game. Like the cool thing about this is since there's so many games, it's really, really cool to just play with your friends, even if you have no idea what you're doing, because it's enjoyable. And it's an excellent like attention getter. It's really cool for parties. And honestly, it looks like it's pretty advanced, but it's really not that difficult to build. And again, it's on a timer, so I can only play around for a little while before I have to put a coin in. But I have it set to free play, so. But this kind of gives you an idea. So there's another version of 97. But yeah, I can have turned it's only set up to 1 minute. So if I add a coin, there we go. It adds it back to 60. So we start flipping through the pages, lots of King of Fighters, and we start getting into all the Metal Slugs. So all the Metal Slugs are on there, which is really sweet. Those are classics. Everyone loves the Metal Slug games. Shock Troopers is a really cool off-the-wall game. I'm just kind of going through the list. Now, these versions of Plus are basically expanded versions of the games, so they have a little more functionality or different moves and stuff, or they're harder. The arcade mode's harder, or you have more damage or whatever. Speed is turned on. Just really cool Marvel superheroes. I mean, there's a lot of really cool classic ones. Look at this. We got X-Men. I mean, how awesome, the X-Men fighting game, which is pretty cool. And then it gets into like the specialized versions, X-Men Street Fighter. It's got all the alphas or zeros, as they were called in Japan. Pocket Fighter is really off the wall. It was on PS1. A lot of people like that. And that's fun. Wrestling games. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff. We got the speakers built in the front. Obviously, we can also run sound through the monitor, which is nice. Dude, this thing is awesome. And it really didn't cost that much to build. I mean, just the plywood and stuff. It was just the plywood and everything was probably about $200 for all the pieces, parts. But as you can tell, the quality's pretty good. It's a 27-inch monitor. The quality is nice. It's running at about 720p. I tried to have it stretched just a bit to fit the screen without looking too funky, but it works really well. There's really no lag to speak of. It's not like you really don't know. You know, like some of these emulated games, they lag so much, especially fighters. You can't really do much with them. Whereas this, I mean, it's almost like you're playing it at the arcade. I mean, it might be a frame or two off, but it's not so much to where you couldn't play it with your buddies drinking or something. So, honestly, most of the Street Fighters, and including this game, are perfect translations. There's other ones that are a little off, or they have tearing, but for the most part, they're not bad. So, you know, it's a really cool project. I think a lot of people get a kick out of it. Look at this. Look at the Jackie Chan fighting game. Like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. It's probably crap, but But, you know, that's something we're going to do on the stream. If I can ever get the stream to work digitally, I want to try to be able to have people watch the stream and just be able to call out games, and we can jump through and play them and take votes and stuff. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. So we do have the stream every week. I got to do a shout out for that real quick. We have a stream every week for Tekken. We do the Seattle Tekken stream on Thursday nights from 7 to 11. We also have my stream, which is going to be in here in the game room where everything's set up. I build sticks. That's right here is one of my Samurai Shogun ones, which is pretty cool. I also got a martial law stick that is just the one side of it. But yeah, so we do that. That's usually every Saturday or Sunday. Usually Saturday's up late. We do it real late. But we also do audio. We kind of do almost like a radio channel in here. So we have 2 of these setups. They work really well. I spent a little bit of money to get them set up, but it's really worth it. They sound really great, and I don't have to wear a headset while I'm playing, which kind of makes it more fun and more comfortable for me. So we have 2 of those. You know, it's fun. We got the mixer for the sound, and you know, it works out. I think it's fun. A lot of people get a kick out of it. We do a lot of funny stuff on here, and that's that. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm not going to sit here and do an advertisement. But got some Gundam fighters, like old school ones. Blood Warrior. I mean, some of these are weird, like Cadillac and Dinosaurs. Some of these younger guys have probably never even heard of this. It's an old cartoon from like the 90s, but it's a beat 'em up. It's really fun. The sequel's on there. It's a Japanese, I think, hack. There's a lot of hacks on here. Another couple of good ones is the Punisher beat 'em up. Was really fun. A lot of cool moves, a lot of weapons, a lot of cool like special stuff you could do with you could interact with the environment and interact with the enemies in certain ways. That was really cool. Knights of the Round Table was good. I mean, seriously, a lot of these games people have never played the original versions of, so it's really cool. Like the old Double Dragons. King of Dragons was a classic one too. You could play as like a cleric and a archer and a warrior, I think, or elf or warrior. There's so much on here. I could sit and make videos for hours and hours and hours showing off these games. Oh, look at this one. Boom, The Simpsons. Can't go wrong with that. I remember this at bowling alleys and pizza parties and forever. It's just so awesome. And it's a perfect arcade translation. I think it has a little tearing on some of the bosses because of the color shift. When you hit an enemy, they turn red. So I think there's a little bit of issues with that, but not much. I think the biggest issue I've run into with these boards is the sound. Some of them are just super, super loud when they start up. Like for some reason the volume is really loud. Let me turn it down a little bit, guys. There we go. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. So, some of the volume in the sound of the game is really, really weird. Like Golden Axe, for example, does like really loud noises when the enemies die, but not a lot of noise when they like when other things are happening. So like when your weapons are hitting or other things going on, it just doesn't matter. It sounds like you're hitting like a wet sock into somebody's, like, I don't know, like into a wall. It just doesn't sound like anything. But then when they die, they literally scream at like 10 times the volume of what was going on in the game at the time. So it like kind of crowds out the rest of the sound of the game. And there's other games like it, you know, that do the same thing with the sound, but that's really the only issue you run into is the sound. But as you can tell, I mean, the game runs really good. It runs just like it did back in the old days. You can do, you can jump, you can do special move by doing both buttons at the same time. So, I mean, it's very functional. It works really well. It's just cool. And having so many different games or different genres of games. I mean, there's fighting games. Clearly, you saw a bunch of those. There's beat 'em ups, and we're only on 107 of how many here? Let's see, 640, I think 645. Oh, 586. So there's normally 645, but I took a lot of them off. I took almost 100 games off that I didn't really care for, that were just kind of dumb. Like some of them were really goofy puzzle games. But I left all the fighting games on there because some of the animation for some of these off-the-wall games is really good. There's a lot of versions of Killing Blade, which is or not Killing Blade, I'm sorry, but Oriental Legends. Oriental Legends it's almost like a beat-em-up RPG. And you play as like different, I think Japanese or Chinese warriors and gods. I think it's Japanese. And pretty fun. There's a lot of different versions. We have special moves, special characters, and they kind of build off each other. I think this is similar. The KOVs are similar. But it's just stuff that I've never heard of, and most people would have never tried to install or build a cabinet that had the game specifically in it. And it's really cool to me that it was kind of a surprise. You know, I got this for Street Fighter and King of Fighters and a couple other things, but being able to get some of these like surprise titles is really cool. But there's so many versions of KOV, like. But it's very, very similar to the old Dungeons and Dragons beat 'em ups, but it's got a definite like Japanese martial arts kind of vibe, which is cool. Yeah, the KOV stands for Knights of Valor. There's some puzzle games. There's some horse racing, so you can just bet between your friends who's gonna win. Just stupid stuff. Bowling. Like I said, the shooters. There's no real light gun games. I know people were asking about that. But there is pretty much everything else. And the reason I don't have I don't have light guns installed on it. I bet you it could work if I did a main cabinet with it, I could. But there's just so many. There's Gyrus, which is an old classic. Frogger's on here. Gallagher's on here. There's a bunch of clones of Space Invaders and original Space Invaders on here. The Superman beat 'em ups on here. Just crazy amounts of games, and I love it. I think it's awesome. When it's all done, as you can tell, it's low profile. The best part, my favorite part, is the damn thing has drink holders, and they're adjustable, so you can put a whole bunch of different beers and drinks and wines and other fun things in there. And matter of fact, I'm going to have a drink of my beer. So, there we go. I don't know what Solomon's Key is, but I'm not going to play it. Oh, let's go puzzle game. There we go. Ghosts and Goblins. I think this one has a real bad sound issue too, but otherwise I think it's okay. There's a little bit of slowdown maybe too. There's reviews online. There's Space Invaders, classic. There is Gunsmoke. I mean, there's some really cool games on here that are just out of control. Pac-Man, like the original Pac-Man with extra mods put on it, so it's like faster, harder AI. Super Pac-Man, the original Mario Brothers is on here, like the one you used to play in the arcade. There's so much stuff. It's so awesome. I think the only game I can't get to work is Xavius, and I love that game. And the reason is for some reason it wants me to hit a player 1 or player 2 start button, and for some reason it doesn't recognize it. I don't know why. My buttons don't seem to work. I've tried unwiring and wiring back up. It's just weird. It's like the only game I've had issues with. Everything else on here works. Breakout. There's just so many cool games. But as you can tell, I mean, I could sit here and go over these forever, but this is just a little kind of, I don't know, just a little kind of preview of what we got going on. The only thing I need to work on still, other than painting, which the painting I'll show you guys right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do digital camouflage using the Space Invaders. So I have decals that I ordered off of eBay from a really cool guy. And what I'm doing is I'm making my own vinyl stencils, plastic stencils. And once I'm done with my standard digital camouflage, I will be doing, this is like the mock-up right here. So obviously we need the eyes and the mouth and stuff, but what we're going to do is we're going to transfer this over to plastic. We're going to do the whole cabinet, or at least streaks of color, digital camouflage. So we're going to do like triangles or something big on it, or a line, a wipe across the side. And we're going to do digital camouflage, like gray, black, red, and like different shades of white and gray. So it gives you that really cool digital kind of Atari era kind of look, but it's hip, it's new. And then when I'm done with that, I'm actually going to spray paint these guys all over it randomly. So it's going to give you that Space Invader look. It's very similar to this bag I bought off the internet, which is really sick. This is just Space Invaders, but if you look at it from a distance, it's digital camouflage. You know what I mean? And I don't know, there's something about it that hit me. I just love it. I love the way it looks. I think it looks really cool and hip. And I'm into it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it across the front, across the part of the control panel, probably do it